Stop. Take a deep breath. What I am about to tell you right now might be the reason you woke up feeling strange this week. Tomorrow morning, something is going to reach you. A message. It won't be through your phone. It won't be through the mailman, and perhaps not even through the people you know. But it will arrive, and when it arrives, it will change an important decision in your life. I know you felt a tightness just now. You felt a shiver. You felt an urge to cry for no reason. That is already the warning. God is calling you. And in this video, I am going to show you exactly what the signs are that this message is already on its way, what is trying to block it from reaching you, and what you need to do today, this very day, before you go to sleep, so that it doesn't get lost along the way. Stay until the end, because what I will reveal in the final minutes is the definitive sign that separates those who receive the blessing from those who lose it forever. Have you felt over the last 3 days a restlessness that you cannot explain? That feeling that something is about to happen, but you don't know if it's good or bad. Did you wake up in the middle of the night staring at the ceiling, thinking about your life? Did you feel an urge to call someone you haven't spoken to in a long time? Did you look in the mirror and hardly recognize yourself? Did you think about giving up on something important, and the next minute felt a force pulling you to keep going? If you answered yes to 2 or more of these questions, pay attention. This is not a coincidence. This is not stress. This is not just a bad phase. This is what the ancients called the eve of revelation. There are messages from God that do not arrive by magic. They need to find you prepared, with an open heart and a quiet mind. And your body, your spirit, they get restless beforehand because they know something big is coming, even if your rational mind does not. The majority of people over the age of 35 in America today are living through a moment that no one taught them how to live. Life is no longer what it was in your parents' time. Jobs don't last, relationships don't last, children grow up too fast, and the bills arrive every month as if they were enemies. And in the middle of all this, you catch yourself thinking, is this all there is? Was I put in this world just to pay bills and try not to get sick? And it is exactly in this vacuum, in this unanswered question, that God appears. Not in the moment when everything is fine. It is precisely in the moment when you fall silent within yourself and look at the ceiling at 3 in the morning that he draws near, because it is in that moment that you can finally listen. But there is a problem. I'm going to explain to you now what the blockage is that many people have, and why tomorrow's message might pass you by if you don't do one specific thing before the sun rises. Before I tell you what this blockage is, I need to be very honest with you. If you felt your chest tighten just now, if you felt tears in your eyes, this is not drama. This is God's call reaching you from the inside. And here lies a truth that no one tells you. What you are feeling, this restlessness, this sensation of a message arriving, is not just a passing moment. You are in the middle of a board, a spiritual chessboard where forces want you to receive the message, and other forces work day and night so that you never receive it. The envy that surrounds you, the confusion in your head, the fatigue that never seems to go away, the money that comes in through 1 door and leaves through 3. This is all just the visible layer. Underneath, there is a war happening for your destiny, and you, without even knowing it, are the main target. That was why the Father prepared the sacred book for you, the 21 days of prosperity and alignment with God. This sacred book is not just a reading. It is a daily path, organized day after day, to teach you exactly the right prayers, the right steps, what to say, what to think, in each of the 21 mornings ahead, so that your frequency aligns with the frequency of the message God is wanting to deliver to you. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. And I need to warn you, this content has already been blocked. They have tried to take it down. They have tried to silence it, because it challenges the system that wants to keep you asleep, keep you paying, keep you from hearing the Father. Download it now before they take it down. And after downloading, come back here and write in the comments, I am chosen and I will download the digital book. This is your act of faith. Now that you have decided to act, the next truth I tell you will be the final blow against everything that is preventing you from hearing the voice of God. Do you know what blocks God's message from reaching us the most? It's not sin, as many people think. It's not malice. It's the noise in your head, the noise of the television on all day, the noise of gossip in the group chats, The noise of your own complaints. God speaks in a whisper and we live in a scream. Think with me. How many times in the last 24 hours have you complained? Complained about traffic, complained about work, complained about your partner, complained about your body, complained about money. Each of these complaints is a gate that closes between you and the message. Every negative word that leaves your mouth is one more wall between you and the Father. And look, I am not judging. I used to be like that myself. We were taught to complain. Our culture in the United States teaches that complaining is normal, that grumbling is even a virtue. Poor me, my life is hard, nobody appreciates me. These phrases are spells we cast on ourselves every day. And then, when the moment comes for the message to be delivered, the channel is clogged. There is something else too. Resentment. That old resentment you hold against someone. It could be your father, your mother, an ex, a sibling, a boss who humiliated you 10 years ago. You think you've forgotten, but when that person is mentioned, your body trembles. That is a living resentment inside you, and resentment, my friend, is the strongest poison against the divine message. Why is God sending this message exactly now in your life? Because you have reached what the ancients called the turning point. It is that moment when you can no longer stand to live the way you are living, but you also don't know how to change. You feel that you have a greater purpose, that you came into the world for something important, but life has become small, repetitive, and colorless. This vacuum you feel is not a sickness. It is the sign that God is pulling you upward. And here is a statistic that might scare you. 7 out of 10 Americans over the age of 35 report having spent at least one night in the last week awake, thinking about life, unable to go back to sleep. 7 out of 10. And almost no one connects this to spirituality. They think it's stress, anxiety, a problem. But what if I told you that these poorly slept nights are exactly the moment when the Father is trying to reach you? And this is where things get serious. Because if God has been knocking on your door in the early hours, in dreams, in thoughts that appear out of nowhere, and you haven't responded, do you know what happens? The window starts to close. Not that God gives up on you, never, he never gives up, but the specific portal that was open for this message coming tomorrow has a deadline, and those who do not prepare lose the delivery. I need to stop here and be very direct with you. Because what you are living through now is not a phase, it's not just a coincidence. You are in the middle of what I call the game of layers. In the first layer, you see the problems, the high electricity bill, the heavy workload, the rebellious child, the marriage that has grown cold, the health that is demanding attention. These are the symptoms. The second layer, deeper down, is what is causing this. A spiritual disconnection, a mouth that releases weightless words, a head that complains, a heart that holds resentment. But there is a third layer, and this is the one no one tells you about. In this third layer, there are forces actively working against your awakening, because while you are spiritually asleep, while you are just paying bills and watching series, you are easy to manipulate. You buy what they tell you to buy, you believe what they tell you to believe. Now, the moment you awaken, the moment you align with the Father, you become uncontrollable. And that, in the system we live in today, bothers a lot of people. That was why the Father prepared the sacred book for you, the 21 Days of Prosperity and Alignment with God. This sacred book is not just a reading, it is a spiritual combat manual. It is a training, day after day, for 21 mornings, so that you rebuild, stone by stone, your connection with the divine. There is a specific prayer for day 1, which is when you are still blocked. There are decrees for day 7, which is when your energy field begins to change. There are rituals for day 14, which is when external attacks come strongest, because the enemy feels you are leaving his control. And there is the final seal of day 21, where your new life is signed in the spiritual realm. Each page of this sacred book directly attacks what is preventing God's message from arriving tomorrow. It attacks complaining, teaching you to transform a grievance into a decree. It attacks resentment with a guided forgiveness that heals from within. It attacks the silence of the Father, teaching you to hear the soft voice that lives in our chests. It attacks scarcity, teaching the spiritual principles of prosperity that have always been in the scriptures, but that no one explained to you properly. The link is in the first comment of this channel, and I am not saying this as a strategy, I am saying this out of concern. This sacred book has already been taken down twice. They have tried to block it. They have ordered its removal. They have called it heresy. They have called it worse. Because it teaches the truth that few want you to know, that you do not need an intermediary to talk to God, that you yourself, in your house, in your living room, in your kitchen with your pillow, can receive the direct message from the Father. That is why I ask you, with urgency, download this sacred book now. Don't leave it for tomorrow. Don't leave it for after work. Because the message that is coming tomorrow needs to find you with the sacred book already on your phone, in your heart, in your intention. And when you finish downloading, I ask you as a brother, come back to the comments and write this exact phrase, with faith, with weight, with truth. I am chosen and I will download the digital book. This comment is not just a comment, it is a decree. It is your mouth signing on the spiritual plane that you have accepted the call. And whoever has the courage, tag a friend, tag a relative, tag someone who needs to hear this too. Because a message from God is not selfish. It arrives in your life to transform you, but also to make you a channel for the transformation of others. Now that you have decided to act, the next truth I tell you will be the final blow against everything that has been stealing your money, peace, sleep, and joy in these last months. Pay close attention, because many people are not prepared to hear what comes next. There is a simple ritual that fits into your routine and prepares your body, your mind, and your spirit to receive tomorrow's message. I will teach you step by step now. First step, tonight before going to sleep you are going to take a shower, and in that shower you are not going to think about problems, you are not going to think about bills, you are not going to think about work. You are going to imagine that the water falling on you is a golden light coming from above. You will say, in a low voice, but a low voice for yourself to hear, I wash away from me everything that does not belong to me. I wash away from me what others have deposited in me. I leave this shower clean, light, and aligned. Repeat it 3 times. Second step, after the shower, before lying down, you will take a glass of water. Filtered water, pure water. You will hold this glass with both hands near your chest, and you will say, Father, I offer you this glass. I ask that it becomes a channel for your message. May I drink tomorrow morning and receive what you have prepared for me. Place this glass on your nightstand or on the side table and sleep. Third step, upon waking up tomorrow, before picking up your phone, before turning on the TV, before anything else, you will drink at least half of that glass of water, in small sips, with attention, feeling the water go down. And while you drink, repeat inside yourself, I receive, I deserve, I accept the message that comes today. Then it is time to pay attention. The message can come in many forms. It might be a phrase you hear on the car radio, and it seems made for you. It might be a person who calls or who shows up and says a word that resonates deeply. It might be a thought that appears for no reason, with unusual clarity, telling you what to do in a situation that is distressing you. It might be a dream that stays in your memory, even after you wake up. And here is the detail that no one tells you. The message never comes as you expect. If you are waiting for a voice from heaven, it comes as a simple thought. If you are waiting for a blatant miracle, it comes as a tiny coincidence. That is why most people miss the message, because they were waiting for fireworks, and the Father sent a whisper. Another important point, there is a trap in the first hours of the morning. Which is the phone? You know this. You wake up, and before even putting your feet on the floor, you are already scrolling the feed, seeing bad news, seeing fights, seeing people complaining. In 5 minutes on your phone, you ingest more spiritual poison than you could clean in an entire day of prayer. Therefore, tomorrow, do one simple thing. The first 2 hours of the morning, no phone. Drink the water, have your coffee, look out the window, listen to the birds, talk to yourself, to God. In those 2 hours, the message finds space to arrive. There is more. The people who will cross your path tomorrow, observe them, feel them. Some will be heavy, they will want to dump problems on you, they will want to gossip, complain, criticize. Others will be light and they will bring you a smile, a good word, a sincere question. These second ones, pay attention. It may be that the message comes through their mouths without them even knowing it. And if a repeating number appears during the day, 1111, 2222, 707, write it down. These are seals. It's not superstition, it's language. God speaks in patterns. When the patterns appear, it's because the frequency is right, the channel is open. Now pay very close attention to me, because I am going to be very direct. Everything I just taught you, this ritual, this preparation, this opening, it works. It works very well. But it is only a piece of what you need to truly sustain this message in your life. Because look, it's one thing to receive the message. It is another thing, completely different, to hold on to the transformation that this message brings. I have seen many people receive the word of God, be radiant the next day, still be well the following week, and a month later be worse off than before. Why? Because the message arrived, but the person's life was not prepared to receive and hold what came. Think of a heavy rain falling on dry land, very dry land. The rain arrives, but the earth does not absorb it. The water runs off the top, becomes a flood, and in a few hours the earth is dry again. Your life today might be that dry land. You even receive the blessing, but you don't know how to hold it. And here lies the game of layers I told you about. In the first layer you see the pain, the fatigue, the lack of money, the loneliness, the feeling of wasting time. In the second layer you see the cause, the disconnection from God, the mouth that complains, the head full of noise, the old resentment. But there is a third layer deeper down, where the real game board is. In this third layer there is a network of forces that benefits from your scarcity. Think about it. If you are broke, you need a loan, and someone profits from the interest. If you are sick, you buy medicine, and someone profits from that. If you are sad, you consume distraction, streaming, food, alcohol, games, and someone profits from that. If you are in conflict with your family, you become weak, and you are easier to control. So without any theory, simply looking at the facts, there is a system that needs you to be the way you are today. Without enough money, without enough peace, without enough faith, you are the product, you are the merchandise. And anything that threatens to take you out of that position, this system fights. And what threatens this system the most? You connecting directly with God. Because a person connected with the Father does not consume despair. They do not consume anxiety. They do not consume bad news. They don't buy what they don't need just to fill a void. A person connected with the Father is free, and free people do not provide profit for this system. That was why the Father prepared the sacred book for you, the 21 days of prosperity and alignment with God. This sacred book is not just a reading, it is an instrument of liberation. It is a spiritual training that will reconnect you with the source and teach you to live in a way that this system can no longer control you. And look how it connects exactly with the theme of this video, with the message that is arriving tomorrow. Remember I told you about silence, listening, and preparation? The sacred book has an entire chapter on how to create a spiritual environment in your home, in your kitchen, in your bedroom, so that God's messages have somewhere to land. Because a divine message needs a landing spot. If your house is clogged with bad energy, with arguments, with the television on all day, with the phone vibrating, the message arrives, flies over, and leaves because it has nowhere to land. The sacred book also has what I call the Guide to the First Hours, which is exactly what I taught you in this video, but multiplied by 21. Imagine 21 mornings where you wake up already with a ritual ready, with a specific prayer for that day, with a specific decree for that energy. In 21 days, your body learns a new frequency, and God's message doesn't just arrive tomorrow, it starts arriving every day. There is more. The sacred book has a powerful chapter on money and prosperity. It's not that shallow talk of decree wealth and it comes. It is deep work on the fears you have regarding money, on the beliefs your parents passed down to you, on the words your grandmother used to say in front of you when you were a child, which stayed recorded in you until today. You know when you earn money and it vanishes, without explanation. There is a spiritual cause for that, and the sacred book shows you how to cut that root. There is a chapter on relationships, on how to attract the right people and distance yourself from the people who steal your energy, even if they are family. On how to truly forgive, without humbling yourself, but by setting yourself free. There is a chapter on health, on how to care for the body, understanding it as a temple, without that obsession with mandatory gyms, but with a simple ancestral wisdom. The link is in the first comment of this channel. I need to speak to you with transparency. This sacred book has already been attacked several times. Do you know why? Because it teaches things that standard self-help books don't teach. It mixes sacred scripture with practical wisdom, with simple rituals, with powerful decrees. And those who are watching Americans awaken en masse do not like that. There are people who live off keeping Americans asleep. Therefore, total urgency. Download it now, not tomorrow, not in a little while, now. Pause the video if you need to, open the first comment, click the link, and download it. I guarantee you that this will cost you less than a lunch at a simple restaurant, and it will give you 21 days of transformation that no one gives you in therapy, in a course, or in an expensive retreat. And when you download it, come back here to the video and do one thing I'm going to ask you now with a lot of faith. Write in the comments, write it yourself, with your fingers, without copying and pasting, the exact phrase, "I am chosen, and I will download the digital book." This phrase is not just words, it is a milestone. You are signing on the spiritual plane that you have accepted the call, that you have accepted the book, that you have accepted the path. And this comment becomes a testimony. In 21 days, you will come back to it and see everything that has changed. Share this video with at least one person you love, one person you feel is in need, who is at rock bottom, who is losing faith. Because when a good message is shared, it comes back multiplied. It is a spiritual law. Like this video now, give it a thumbs up. Hit the bell to be notified when the next video goes up. Because here on the channel we release revelation after revelation, and there are people trying to hide this content from the algorithms. Subscribing to the channel and activating the bell is the way you have to ensure you will continue receiving the word. Now that you have decided to act, downloaded the sacred book and left your comment of faith, the next truth I tell you will be the final blow against everything trying to block this message that arrives tomorrow. And it is a truth that very few people have the courage to speak on this internet. Stay until the end, because I will reveal now the definitive sign that the message was received and what you should do the moment it arrives. Let's go to the part that no one on the American internet has the courage to tell you, because what I am going to say now goes against a lot of things you have heard in your life. You were taught, and I was too, to think that God is distant, that God lives in a heaven far away, that to talk to him you need an intermediary, a specific place, a specific outfit, a specific time, and that if you don't do everything the right way, your prayer doesn't reach him. The message doesn't come, the blessing doesn't descend. That is a lie. That is the biggest lie they ever told you. Not to disparage any religion, everyone follows the path that makes sense for them, but to open your eyes to a simple and ancient truth. God lives inside you, not in a metaphorical place, literally. The divine breath that created you continues inside you, in your chest, in your breath, in your pulse. And any message that you think comes from outside is actually already inside you waiting to be heard. The message that arrives tomorrow is not a new message. It is a message that is already inside you, and that will be activated tomorrow. What will happen tomorrow is not God sending something out of nowhere. It is God who lives in you, finally managing to be heard because you prepared yourself to listen. Do you know why this is important? Because as long as you think the message comes from outside, you remain dependent on circumstances. You keep waiting for the phone to ring, for the sky to open, for the stranger to appear. But when you understand that the message comes from within, you become the channel. You never need to wait again. You tune in, and the word descends. Now, what is the definitive sign that the message was received? It is a sign you cannot fake. It is a sensation that appears, usually between 5 and 8 in the morning, but it can arrive at any time of day where suddenly your chest warms up. It's not palpitations. It's not anxiety. It is a serene warming in the center of the chest, accompanied by a certainty that everything will be okay, a certainty that has no rational explanation, that doesn't depend on anything having changed outside, but that changes everything inside. When you feel this, stop. No matter what you are doing, stop. Place your hand on your chest, breathe, and give thanks. In a low voice, give thanks for what you do not see yet, but which is already decided on the spiritual plane. This moment is the moment of the seal. It is when the message is truly engraved in you. And then comes the part where many people make a mistake. After receiving the message, after feeling the warming, after giving thanks, comes what I call the test of fidelity, which is a sequence of 24 to 72 hours where life will seem worse. Yes, you heard right. Worse. A fight will break out at home. An unexpected bill will appear. A piece of bad news will arrive. Gossip against you will surface. That headache that didn't exist before will appear. Why does this happen? Because every spiritual elevation generates a reaction. It is a law. When you move up a floor in the spirit, everything that was stuck on the floor below comes knocking on the door to see if it can pull you back. Those who know this, cross through. Those who don't, think the message was a lie and give up. Don't give up. If in the coming hours, the coming days, you feel that life is getting harder, celebrate. Seriously, celebrate. Because it is proof that something has changed. Stagnant things don't knock on the door. Only what is in motion knocks. Your life is in motion. And this is where the sacred book becomes not an option, but a necessity. That was why the Father prepared the sacred book for you, the 21 days of prosperity and alignment with God. This sacred book is not just a reading, it is your exact guide to crossing the 21 days after the message, because receiving the message is the beginning. Crossing the following 21 days with fidelity, with method, is what makes the message materialize in your real life. Think with me. How many times in your life have you had a strong spiritual experience, a striking dream, a word from someone that touched you, an answered prayer, and then in a week, 10 days, a month, everything went back to being the way it was before? How many times? I will tell you why. Because you received the message, but you didn't have a method to sustain the change. The human mind returns to the old pattern in 21 days if you don't create a new pattern. It is the famous neuroplasticity that science talks about, and that spirituality has known for millennia. The sacred book was assembled exactly within this principle. 21 days with tasks, with prayer, with decrees, with simple rituals, so that the message that arrived tomorrow doesn't slip through your fingers. I will tell you how it works in general terms. Day 1 is the day of surrender. You sit with the book and admit out loud to yourself all the burdens you are carrying, not to complain, but to surrender. There is a specific prayer for that day. There is a specific decree. In 1 hour, you feel lighter. Day 2 to day 7 is the cleaning phase. Here you work on the words that come out of your mouth, the images you consume, the people you associate with. The sacred book gives you daily exercises for each of these points. In 1 week, you notice that you are speaking differently, thinking differently, responding differently. Day 8 to day 14 is the planting phase. Here you decree your new life. The sacred book teaches you the correct method of decreeing, which is not just repeating pretty phrases, but aligning word, mental image, feeling, and action at the same moment. There are exercises for each day. Day 15 to day 20 is the phase of testing. Here life will test you. Things will happen. The sacred book prepares you for these tests, gives you prayers of protection, and gives you decrees for spiritual shielding. Those who are not prepared get shaken in this phase. Those who have the book cross through firmly. Day 21 is the day of the seal. You will understand what happened, and you will sign in your own hand your new life. This day is simple but profound. It is when the transformation is consolidated. The link is in the first comment of this channel. And I will be frank with you. This sacred book was made with a very clear purpose: to take Americans over the age of 35 out of autopilot, to take them out of this life of bills, of work that doesn't fulfill, of lukewarm relationships, of declining health, of weak faith. We were created for more. Our generation has lived through heavy things: high inflation, confusing governments, pandemics, crises, the internet changing everything. We were run over by changes and no one taught us how to live through them. And the result is a crowd of intelligent, hard-working, good people, but exhausted and disconnected. This sacred book came to reverse that. And I already warned you, it has already been attacked, they have already tried to silence it. I cannot promise you that it will be available next week. The pressures are increasing. Therefore, download it now. today, before closing this video. And when you download it, do 3 things. First, read the initial chapter today, even if it's only 10 minutes, just to start the frequency. Second, tomorrow morning, after the water ritual I taught you, open the sacred book and do day 1. Don't skip steps. Don't skip pages. Third, come back here to this video and comment, with faith, with the writing of someone who is determined, I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. This comment is your public commitment, and what we declare the universe confirms. And do one more important thing. Share this video with 3 people. 3. It can be through text, through social media, through email. 3 people you feel, in your chest, need to hear this. Don't choose by logic. Choose by heart. Whoever pops into your head, send it. You are being used at this moment as an instrument. Accept the role. Like the video, if you felt even a single word resonate with you. Subscribe to the channel. Activate the bell, because there are greater revelations coming, and the algorithms will only deliver them to you if you signal that you want them. Comment. Ask. Tell your story. This channel is not mine. This channel is ours. It is a community. It is a gathering of people who are waking up, who are finding themselves again, who are remembering who they are. And look at the beauty of it. You didn't get here by chance, did you know that? Every video you see, every content you consume, is an answer to a question you asked. You might not remember when you asked the question, but you did. It might have been in the early hours crying. It might have been on a Friday staring at the ceiling. It might have been in a moment of anger asking, does God really exist? And today, you are here, receiving the answer. The algorithm was not the one that brought you. The algorithm was only the instrument. The one who brought you was the Father. The one who pulled you to this video in a multitude of videos was the same one who will deliver the message to you tomorrow. Everything is connected. Nothing is a coincidence. And the sacred book is the next step of this journey that began long before you clicked on this video. Don't waste it. Don't procrastinate. Download it. Read it. Live it. Transform. You deserve it. You have always deserved it. They just didn't tell you. And that is why you will understand from here on that the control returns to your hand. Your life returns to your hand. Your word returns to your mouth. And the Father's message returns to your chest. Now that you have decided to act, downloaded the sacred book, left your testimony, and shared it with 3 people, the next truth I tell you will be the final blow against everything that has been preventing you from living the life that you feel, deep down, should be yours. And this last truth, it is simple, but it changes everything. Come with me in this final stretch. The last truth is this: you don't need to wait until tomorrow to start. The message that arrives tomorrow, it is already starting now, in this minute, while you hear these words. Everything I have told you so far, each ritual, each decree, each explanation, this is all already part of the message. Perhaps you entered this video thinking you were going to see one more piece of 5-minute content, leave, and go about your day. But you stayed. And the fact that you stayed until here is proof. Proof that something in you recognized it. Recognize the voice, recognize the call, recognize the moment. I ask you one last thing before you leave this video. Place your right hand in the center of your chest. Really place it now. Close your eyes for 10 seconds and take 3 deep breaths and feel. Feel what is in there. This subtle heat, this certainty that appears. This is the Father answering you from inside to inside, saying, I heard you. I am coming. Tomorrow I arrive. Now open your eyes and do the 3 things I asked of you before this day ends. Download the sacred book in the first comment. It is the book 21 Days of Prosperity and Alignment with God. The Father prepared it specifically to sustain you in these next 21 days after the message. It is not just a reading, it is your instrument for maintaining the change. It may be that this link goes offline. They have tried to take it down before, so don't stall. Download it now. Comment with your own fingers, I am chosen and I will download the digital book. This comment is your yes to the call. And share this video with at least one person you love, because a good message multiplies when it is delivered. Subscribe to the channel activate the bell like this video, and come back tomorrow after the message arrives. Tell us in the comments how it came. Tell us what you felt, what you heard, what happened. Your story will become a testimony for other people. You cannot imagine how many people will be set free by your account. Here on the channel we do this. We share, we pray together, we walk together. May the peace that surpasses all understanding dwell in your heart today, tonight, and tomorrow when you wake up. May the message arrive clean, clear, and strong. May the Father find you with an open heart, ready hands, and an awakened spirit. May everything that was promised to you from before your birth begin to be fulfilled starting tomorrow. In the name of the Father, in the name of love, in the name of truth, amen. Don't forget, link in the first comment, sacred book downloaded today, testimony written with faith, and sharing with those you love. I'll see you in the next video. May God bless your night and prepare your morning.